Wow, I love that. Did you have an example where you had to, in that moment, where you were, let's say, facing adversity and it really freaking sucked and most people would just like run in the opposite direction? Like when you first started joining the training, like that was so freaking intense. I mean, you must have been exhausted, like to the point where you couldn't even open your eyes by the end of the day. Are there moments where you literally are being physically and mentally pushed to your freaking limits on a daily basis? So at the end of those, how many people quit? I'm sure a lot.
A lot quit.
How did you not quit, Evie? How did you have that mental resilience in that moment where you're like, this resistance is going to make me stronger?
I think perhaps maybe I grew up with a lot of struggles, immigrant family, poor neighborhood. We lived in poor economic environment, government housing, rats, cockroaches. My father, though, was quite resilient and very much a fighter and a pushback. He never let me moan and bitch. And maybe that was it. My parents actually did not entertain it growing up. So I can't really say the Secret Service did this to me. My family there was no room for it. They also didn't grow up like that because if they did, they'd starve. They would have never survived. And so there was that mindset in my house. It's like, you don't bitch, you make things happen. You have a problem, find a solution. I never got, oh my God, you poor thing. I never got that. I never got that. And I think maybe it normalized adversity for me so that when it happened, it wasn't like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to you. It was like, it's life, suck it up. That really maybe trained me and made me understand. So when things did come, I wasn't completely annihilated by them, perhaps.
And that's the thing, right? That some people do, and I get it, right? Maybe they've been taught in the past, maybe their childhood where, you know, the adversity never got them stronger because they didn't have the capabilities or they weren't around people and, you know, whatever situation. And so I just want to try to encourage people to lean into the adversity, obviously depending on what it is in today's world, that can mean many different things. But in our context, let's take Quest as a perfect example. When I first started, I was in the shipping department. I had no idea what I was doing. I had been basically the boss of my 2 dogs. I was shipping Quest bars from my living room floor. And that was about as far as my experience had gone. And then Quest grew at 57,000%. You're freaking thrown into the deep end. It's like, no, 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 no. If you don't keep up, you lose your house. If this doesn't happen, then you lose your house. So every time I faced a moment of adversity where I'm like, I'm not good enough, oh my God, like I was struggling, getting pushed back, if I didn't have my house, I may have quit.